After years of traveling, I firmly believe my travel kit is now perfect. That is a crazy claim, but if you don't know me, I'm Andy. I've been traveling on the road for a long time now, shooting lots of photos, videos, and this is everything I have refined in my travel kit. If you're new to this channel, I am a bit of a tech nerd. I'll try and optimize everything down to a charger, so you'll definitely get some takeaways from this video today. Let's get into it. We're in the Aussie bush. We're also going on a hike, and I'll show you some things as we go. Okay, so first up, we've got the backpack. This is the PGY Tech bag. It's actually an FPV bag. You can put your FPV drones here, and although it is that, it works with camera gear, I'd say quite perfectly. Just unzip the back here. Inside here, you got camera compartments, fit a 16-inch laptop in this compartment very easily. It's 30 liters, and the best part about this bag is that if you walk through an airport with it and you have like kind of a big jacket, it's kind of disguised to actually how big it is. I've carried it onto like a Ryanair or EasyJet flight very easily, which is great, and no one noticed or made me pay more for baggage. So kudos to this bag. A little bit pricey, but I do recommend it. Alright, so before we go any further, let's talk about the camera I'm filming everything on, and this is the brand new A7 IV. I made a bunch of videos testing this in the Australian Open, comparing it to other cameras, and obviously it's quite an investment, but I think it's well worth it. I truly think it is the best hybrid camera in the market. The dynamic range is unbelievable. Open gate is the only thing I'm missing. What I did before is I made my girlfriend hold a ZV-E1 while I used an A7C II. We used two bodies to make everything work, but now rolling with one A7 IV, it's a joy. I never have like FOMO of not bringing one of the other cameras, and it's honestly just a pleasure to use. While we're here, we may as well shout out the tripod I'm using. This is a Freewell tripod. Put the exact link below. The coolest thing is you can basically take these poles out and use them as a hiking pole, which is pretty neat. Got a lot of distance on it, a lot of controls everywhere, and it's serving its purpose great. Alright, so I'm actually here from the future because I made a huge mistake. The entire audio from this video was actually captured direct from the A7 IV, which first of all, I am genuinely quite impressed. It actually sounds quite crisp, but you can see the difference now. I'm using my favorite mic right now, the ECM-W3. I've hid it just in between here in my shirt. And this is by far my favorite microphone, which may be a bit of a hot take given there's no 32-bit float audio. However, there are safety tracks, so that genuinely does not matter. I can speak as loud as I want. I'm like screaming into the mic right now, and it does not clip because of the smart tech inside this mic. But on top of it sounding great, the even better part about this microphone is that everything you need is contained in that small AirPods-like case. What pissed me off a lot about other microphones is that you have to carry an extra cable, you have to carry all this other stuff that goes outside the case, so you end up having to carry this pouch. With the ECM-W3, you just open the case, plug it straight into the hot shoe mount, and you can film good audio in basically seconds. You don't have to fiddle with any cables, and genuinely it is the fastest mic possible that you can set up. And I don't know about you, when it comes to like setting up mics, it's a chore, being on the run, filming run and gun. The fastest setup is the most important to me. Now, a quick disclaimer is that I am actually a Sony accessories ambassador, which includes the mics. I've been doing it for like 3 years, but in saying that, I have voluntarily chosen to take this position. I've rejected a lot of money from other audio brands who want me to advertise their mics because genuinely, I am more than happy with these, and those other ones just annoy me when I'm traveling. Like, you have to fiddle with so many different wires, and you forget one thing, you're screwed, you have no audio. So despite the slightly higher price tag, these are definitely my favorite. Now, since we're also on the topic of mics, I also use the ECM M1, which is a great shotgun microphone. I don't use it as much as this guy, the ECM W3, because I tend to like to speak to the camera and I can capture enough audio, and this is wireless anyway. I don't think it sounds that much better to justify like carrying that around as well. Although it is pretty good for vlogging, but the microphone that I do use a lot is this guy, the ECM S1. And this mic has made me a lot of money. I film all my Instagram voiceovers, my client work, YouTube videos. It's crisp, it sounds great, very convenient, perfect for traveling, and you literally just connect it via USB-C, and I do voiceovers everywhere on the go. You can also actually connect this with another adapter to the camera and speak like this if you really want, but I personally just use it as my laptop microphone. Now let's move on to a filmmaker's best friend, which is their drone. And contrary to popular belief, even though the Mavic 4 Pro is an amazing drone, the Mini 5 Pro is the traveling choice. I think it's fairly obvious. It is so small and convenient. And I think there are leaps and bounds of upgrades compared to the old Mini 4 and even Mini 3 Pros. I feel like it flies faster, the sensor's nicer, better low light, better obstacle sensing, and really, given its size and weight, it is the perfect travel companion for some amazing drone shots. Now, while we are also here, let me put you on some charging game. Everything basically revolves around USB-C these days, and I used to have a fat charger that had so many wires. To be fair, this has lots of wires, but first of all, having a longer cable, about 2 meters, is very beneficial in my opinion. Some Airbnbs have like electricity ports which are very far. The charger that I like to use, the wall socket, is this Anker charger. I'll put the Amazon link in below. And the best thing is, it is really just that small. A lot of chargers can get like double, triple the size, and it has 100 volts charging, which is great. You can charge your laptops, my 16-inch, no worries, and it won't like trickle charge, which is very annoying. So it's got fast charging, and I'd highly recommend it. Alright, so now let's discuss mini cameras. So as a content creator, I don't always use the Sony a7 V. I use things like the Osmo Action 6, which is a great action camera, not only for action or like FPV drone flying, even just for vlogging. I vlog on my Australian open vlog, and it's just nice and convenient. Audio is pretty decent from this far away, super wide, so you can keep it closer to, and you can also vlog, which is cool. I picked the Action 6 because I need that vertical and horizontal at the same time. As someone who posts a lot on Instagram, check me out over there as well. While we're here, I tend to always bring this Tellison mount as well, because you can clip it onto your backpack, you can clip it wherever you want really, and you can just pop my Action. Oh my god, I just dropped it. Oh my god. Holy crap. I literally just scratched my Osmo camera's lens. What the heck, mate? Oh. What I was gonna say, I like this little clip mount. You can clip this thing anywhere. You can adjust it however you like. It's cool. And I cannot believe I just scratched the freaking lens. But a very underrated piece of gear has to be the Ray-Ban Metas. So these guys are genuinely so handy. I look a bit nerdy in them, but these are actually transitional lenses as well. So when the sun gets bright, they act as sunglasses, which is very functional, but you can literally say, hey Meta, start recording. You can also just hold the button at top as well to stop recording like that. You can do that to take a photo as well. It really syncs very seamlessly with your phone. The second you open your phone and open the app, things are already in your gallery. And it's just a great way to like capture experiences, get some BTS footage, get some BTS shots of you shooting on the camera. And I just think it's a really good addition to, first of all, have some sunglasses, and second of all, have another awesome device to capture some content. So one piece of gear people do not talk about enough is your laptop, because your laptop runs everything you do in terms of content creation, traveling, making content, videos, photos. And my recommendation would be the newest base 16-inch MacBook Pro. Make sure it's the M4 Pro chip, not just like the M4 for example. But the reason I recommend 16-inch is that editing photos, videos, trust me, the extra screen real estate is priceless. And I literally cannot go back to a 14-inch screen again. Now, another thing that people don't talk about is SSDs. So this really is what every creator needs, a way to store their files. And this is the T7 Shield 4TB SSDs. I honestly recommend buy 4TB. You only have so many ports. You may as well just get 4TB. Make sure you get the Samsung T7s, because those SanDisk SSDs have a nature to corrupt, and also even those crucial TX, whatever they're called. These Shield versions are supposed to be rugged and super protected, but they're actually loose at the cable. It's a known like kind of like defect. So they tend to slip out really easily. It's not the end of the world, just don't touch it. With that being said, the normal T7s are cheaper and they don't slip out, so I recommend those. So let's also talk lenses. These two are probably the most used lenses I have, and I think maturing is realizing the 24-70, although it's not the best lens, it is the best lens for the moment. 24-70 has to be the most versatile focal length, whether you're in a city, whether you're even out in nature. The mix of 24 is just wide enough for lots of scenes, even for vlogging for example, and then being able to zoom in all the way to 70 at f2.8 gives you some nice background separation and some bokeh, which is nice. I think this travel kit can't be complete without the 70-200, because you're going to see mountains, you're going to see some sort of wildlife. Having that reach and the extra background separation at 200mm f2.8, it looks beautiful. This lens really shows you the magic of compression, makes everything look beautiful, and so I really can't live without these lenses. If I had one choice, I'd have to go with the 24-70, but what I'm filming on right now is the 24mm f1.4. It's the best lens in my opinion for talking heads, for vlogging, for getting some very cinematic footage. You might be wondering, there's no wide angle lenses on this guy's list, but I tend to use the 10-18mm APS-C lens, which is like an f4 lens. The best part about that, it's really small, doesn't weigh much, and if I'm really in a pinch, I'll get that super wide shot with that lens, even though it's APS-C. Honestly, you don't really need anything that's beyond 16mm a lot of the time. Like sure, if you want to be a sick landscape photographer shooting these wide landscapes, Fair enough, but I genuinely think you can get by with 24mm with so many things. I also even have a 14mm 1.8, but if you add all these in your backpack, your back is going to be dead. And I like to travel and have fun and not be a porter in my spare time. Now while we're here, you can have a look at these ND filters that I'm running on these lenses. The 70-200 has the Haida 3-7 stop, which is perfect for this lens, perfect for f2.8 lenses. I could honestly put the same one on here, but I had the Freewell 3-7 stop on this one. I had this Swift variable ND Maglock Helix kit, whatever it's called, from Nissi. This ND filter system is amazing, but I'm very sad to say I lost the dark ND filter, which is like a 3-stopper. And so when it's really bright, unfortunately, there's not enough lights being blocked when I'm filming f1.4. I need to like buy a new one, but that thing kind of costs like $100 at least for just like one ND filter plate, which is kind of expensive. I also sat on this true locking Freewell ND filter, which also is a spectacular ND filter system, great for fast aperture lenses. So that broke, and now I'm left with a 3-7 stop, which is good for many lenses anyway. I'd honestly recommend any 3 of these ND filters. Have a look at the budget. The Haidas are the cheapest, but the Freewell and the Nissi can go on any other camera lens because it's basically like a quick switch system. I've got lots of ND filter videos here if you want to check out more detailed reviews. We are reaching the end. However, let me show you some key pieces of gear that I'll guarantee you are cheap and have a very positive impact. First of all, everyone needs a little one of these. Little dust cleaner. You don't want dust on your sensor, especially if you need to crank up the aperture. Maybe you lost your ND filter, who knows? Another cool item that I don't have on me right now is the lens kind of anti-reflector. So many times if you shoot out of windows, there's reflections everywhere, but this is a little like silicone ring you pop in front of your lens, cuts all the reflections. You can shoot in front of glass easy. Again, like 10 to 20 bucks, so cheap. This is something that is very useful. This is a macro extension tube. So basically the lens goes here. It's almost like a teleconverter. You put this on the camera, obviously, and all of a sudden your lens has become a macro lens. That's how I get all these macro shots. And the trick is you basically get whatever lens you have, which has the best magnification ratio. The 24-70 f2.8 is perfect for that. You can get really close even without this adapter, which is pretty helpful. But with it, you basically have a cool macro lens. Use the A75. You can also crop 1.5 times in, and you can get some really good macro shots. Amazing. And this costs like 10 to 20 bucks as well. This is the intelligent DJI tracker for the RS4 Mini, and that is my gimbal of choice. I bring it in the suitcase when I'm really filming a very corporate job, but otherwise if I'm traveling, I tend to just go without it because I like to have a good time these days. I'm getting old. I'm in my late 20s. That's kind of crazy to say, but the RS4 Mini Pro is my choice of gimbal. Lastly, just an assortment of ND filters. This is the ND filters for my Mini 5 Pro. Very cheap on Amazon. Don't have to buy the actual DJI ones. And other than that, that is basically it. Thank you for joining me on this bushwalk. Let me know if you change anything, if there's anything you disagree upon. At the end of the day, this is my travel kit that prioritizes my enjoyment and also makes sure I can capture everything I want without limitations. If I was on a job, I'd bring a lot more crap. I'm sure there's one thing you could probably pick up that would make your life a lot easier, because a lot of these things I've purchased from making mistakes in the past and having been caught out. I'm now lost in the woods. I need to go home. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.